surprisingly warm. Keene, New Hampshire, around 50 degrees outside today. We'd think it was springtime. Look,
it feels fantastic.
It does. It had a few, what do you call it? Technical difficulties getting started. So if you're in our, usually in our video audience, just hold on a minute. We'll be...
They're not hearing this.
Oh, that's right. We'll be with you in just a moment.
Thank you for holding.
Right. We are crazy stories, right? The dead exchange owner. I think that's nonsense.
Well, I believe it. A lot of people are idiots.
And put their crypto in exchanges?
Well, that too. But you have to wonder about the sense of an exchange that stores all of its crypto in a single wallet with the owner only having access to the private keys.
Yeah, that's not very smart.
No, it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if an exchange did it, because these sorts of things, which I would classify this as an IT security issue, I mean, it's pretty common in the tech world. People just don't think about things like that. They don't think about actually making regular backups or...
Yeah, but most things can be recovered. And while you can hard force, or whatever the term for that is, a wallet code, you can't just call your boss and get them to reset your password. And that's kind of what people are used to. Not that you should be running the crypto exchange if that's how you think, but...
Yeah. Well, I think this would be more analogous to a lost password that cannot be reset, because the administrator password to the domain or the server or however the network is set up has been lost. I've been in that situation as well. There are actually tools to reset passwords outside of Windows and things like that through Linux, editing the registry. It's pretty cool. But, I mean, it's common. It happens quite a lot. I can't reset my Gmail password because it's tied to my Yahoo account, and I don't know my Yahoo account's password, and I can't reset it because I no longer have that phone number. I've had to deal with this.
Yeah.
People just not thinking these things through. And you expect it from the average user. That's why Google has so many ways of resetting your password and verifying account ownership.
Tied to your account. Tell us everything about you.
Right. Here, let's put your phone number, your bank account, your... To me, have either of you guys seen Summer Wars?
No.
No? We're going to fix that tonight then. if you've not got plans tonight.
I won't be there tonight.
Well, you suck. Oh, that's right. You're going to be on the air.
Yeah.
Well, when you get home, are you going to be done when you get done with that?
I don't know.
Okay.
It'll be like 10 at that point.
Yeah.
At least. That's assuming there's no Free or Talk Live tonight, but I don't know whether or not there will be.
Well, Summer Wars is a great movie to watch. It's an anime film, and it's by one of my favorite anime directors. He did The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. He was originally on Digimon, the original Digimon series.
Wasn't that just like a half-assed ripoff of Pokemon?
Yes. No. It wasn't like it was totally. It wasn't half-assed though. It was just.
Well, I remember,
totally a rip.
I mean, not that Pokemon was that original of an idea. It was just
Pokemon
dog fighting with magic.
Extremely original at the time.
Yeah,
it was dog
that's why
fighting
it
with
exploded.
magic.
It's not dog fighting.
Yes, it is.
It is. It's totally dog fighting with magic cards. Oh my God, that's a great analogy. So, lead story today. This is coming from the Middle East Monitor. U.S. mercenaries have been linked to the United Arab Emirates, and they've agreed to a deal with China to run those Muslim detention camps that we've been telling you about over the last few months. Controversial.
How does the UAE enter into this?
Well, evidently they have ties to the UAE somehow.
The mercenary group?
Yes.
Well, that's not surprising.
A controversial U.S. mercenary group with ties to the UAE has signed a deal with China to build a training center in Xinjiang province where 2 million Uyghur Muslims are reportedly being held in detention / re-education camps. Hong Kong-listed security firm Frontier Services Group, which is founded by, anybody want to take a guess?
Prison Corporations of America.
No, Eric Prince. You guys know who that is,
That wasn't
right?
a real guess.
I don't have any idea who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Eric Prince made a name for himself as the founder of Blackwater, a private military contractor that did business in Iraq. He also...
And then had to change their name because it turned out they did a bunch of shady, immoral things.
They've changed their name 4 times.
A
Now
warlord did a bunch of shady, immoral things.
they've changed their name 4 times. They're now Frontier Services Group.
Well, they're certainly not doing much to help anarchists who argue, for mercenaries and things like that.
Well, he was employed by the UAE in the late 2000s to build up a mercenary army. Blackwater was forced to relocate from the U.S. to Abu Dhabi after its controversial role in Iraq, where its employees were held responsible for civilian deaths in Baghdad, including the 2007 killing of 14 unarmed Iraqi civilians. Disgraced by the actions of Blackwater, Prince later sold the company and set up FSG, but not before he was granted $529 million in contracts by Mohammed bin Zayed to build an elite mercenary army for the UAE and to report to the Crown Prince personally. The extent of Prince's connections with the UAE was exposed during Donald Trump's election victory in 2016. An ex-Navy SEAL officer is reported to have been part of a clandestine meeting between the UAE, Russia, and Trump. And a Trump ally investigated by the FBI. The deal between FSG and Beijing would see training camps being run in the northwestern Chinese region of Xinjiang, where up to 1 million Uyghurs are reportedly held in indoctrination camps that have drawn condemnation in Washington and abroad. So that's where the connection to UAE comes in.
I'm surprised to hear that the American government has condemned it. Because, we're generally willing to turn a blind eye to the human rights violations of the Chinese government.
They condemn things once they get caught.
Well, we're just kind of chilling on the whole... Because nobody really likes the Muslims in the U.S. We have like a 64... We're a minority group with a 64% disfavorable rating among general Americans. 64%. So, if they throw us in camps, nobody really cares. Half the people in America want to throw us in camps themselves. So, it's like... Why would we ever stop China? Let's pick a fight with China over people that we don't even like. No, it's not happening. Anyway, we'll be back. We're going to continue on with the story here about Blackwater, basically, now building internment camps for the Chinese government. America.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Yeah. You tell them. Yeah. When I roll it through the you tell them. When I back into the good God, y'all. When I roll it through the listen to me. When I back into the yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I said
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from from the Liberty Radio studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We got Mel and Aria in the studio today on this Monday. Well, while it's afternoon for the next 15 minutes, you know.
Yeah.
It's dark by 5:30 here still. We've been talking about U.S. mercenaries, you know, Z Services, Frontier Service Group, Blackwater, whatever you want to call them. And, you know, they've been building private mercenary armies for Salafi Muslim governments. What could possibly go wrong, you know? Our mercs that we were using against terrorists, quote unquote, are now building those wait, what? It's almost like America selling out to the highest bidder isn't really the smartest way to do business. maybe.
Well, I
Just
mean,
a little bit.
financially, it seems to be working out okay for the mercenary group.
Yeah, but for the American
For everyone
taxpayer-
else on the planet.
I don't really see any
Not
sort
going
of
so well.
conflict between them being used in Iraq and Syria and all of these other places, and them being used in China to continue targeting the same demographic that they were targeting in Iraq.
Yeah,
I mean, it's what they do.
average, everyday Muslims,
Yeah.
basically, just the average. Me, basically. Me and our caller here. We got Mortified Penguin on with us right now from Virginia. Assalamu alaikum, brother. What are you thinking? Why do you think it?
Well, alaikum salam, Will. Hey, Ari and Mel. I did just want to call in. I was going to call you guys anyway today, but I do have something to say about this mercenary private military contractor group. First of all, I'm not sitting too far from where they were founded, where they used to have all their training compounds, and they might still have some because Eric Prince doesn't run it. And I knew it was Eric Prince right away because I know he's in with them in the Middle East. I guess the UAE government. So interestingly enough, I heard on NPR yesterday that a very, very similar story, but it wasn't the private military contractors. It was NSA employees doing the exact same thing with the U.S. government sanction, going over to the UAE, working for their government, directly under their government, reporting right to the rulers, spying on, they said anti-terrorist operations. No, they were against dissenters, human rights activists. They even spied on Americans at times. It was
I don't
horrible.
doubt it.
And it's, yeah,
I don't even
it's
doubt it a
so
little.
similar to the story that you're saying.
Well, if the United States government can outsource spying upon us to other governments, then it just makes them look better to the average person. It's like, oh, but it's not the American government monitoring your emails and cell phone calls and text messages.
Russia.
It's the UAE, and it's just American, spy agency employees working for the UAE.
Well, those people in the UAE, you see in the UAE, it's the outside workers, like foreigner workers, outnumber citizens 9-1. So actually, there are Americans in UAE. There's probably as many Americans in UAE as Arabs, but
More.
I don't know if that's necessarily.
More,
but, yeah.
probably.
Yeah, but so basically, I mean, as bad as we say the government is over here, like they outright are targeting and actually targeting with detentions or worse, actual human rights people with blogs and stuff. I mean, people just speak out against the abuses of that government, and that's a big modern country, U.S. ally, economic leader in the region. It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. That's what theocrats historically have done.
But
they're not just
it's
theocrats.
the island of Hidos is what it is. It really is. It's the island. UAE and Bahrain are like the island of Hidos for Americans and Arabs. That's what it's become. It's like the Vegas of the Middle East. So
yeah, they have all the economic forums and all the ports and all the technological expos. They're the super modern, up and coming, hip country. But I mean, they're unless you want to criticize anything about what they do there.
I wouldn't want to go there.
Yeah,
Personally,
I don't think I would.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there. I won't go to Saudi as long as the KSA is in charge, because I've seen what they do to people that speak out against them from here if they go there. Like if there was a Canadian activist who didn't have any real platform except for being in the newspaper a couple times. And when he got off the airplane for Hajj, they threw the Chanel No. 5s on him and walked him away for something that he said as a Canadian citizen in Canada.
I heard you have to
Saudi
sign some
Arabia.
kind of loyalty pledge.
Yeah.
When you get over there.
Davi Barker wrote the words "under duress" instead of putting his
That's who
name
I heard
on
say it.
Yeah. I love that. That's classic Davi.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay, so I kind of wanted to change the subject a little bit. I did want to say one thing. So I heard you talking about. Oh, by the way, yes, the other day when I brought up mutualism, I had no idea that fascist guy actually had brought up mutualism like the week before. I totally brought that up coincidentally. I'm totally going to bring that up again. But on a kind of similar note, I want to take issue with this whole idea. I mean, yes, when we want to kind of talk down about the social democrats, the socialists, the people that are trying to do, this new crop of social democrats basically out there, like to say that they're whining and complaining that the Walton family and other wealthy business people have so much money and it's unfair and everything. And I mean, it's not unfair that people have money, but to have $60-something billion and transfer it from generation to generation, have that secure, that's totally due to state privileges. We can't ignore that. That kind of thing is totally due to state privilege.
So the state does in some cases. So if you're in, I don't know if what Walmart subsidies and what Sam's Club subsidies there are, but so like the NFL gets a lot of subsidies. There are corporations that get a lot of subsidies, but just because you pass down money doesn't mean that that's the state helping you do that.
It's not just subsidies, though.
I would disagree, Melanie, in a lot of cases. Inheritance, at least in those kinds of numbers, is probably the most immoral thing in the world today. It's probably the most immoral thing that capitalism or free market principles allow.
Nah, I don't see it that
way.
But
the state socializes their property rights and their
it's
security
free money
and
to
their
a child simply due to the privilege of having been born. They didn't do anything to earn it. It was just granted to them.
But neither did anybody else, and that's who they decided to give it to.
All right.
I actually disagree with Aria on that, but
all right. Anyway,
I have a lot to
how
say
can
about
you
it.
say the CEO with $68 million who's given to his kids didn't do anything to earn it?
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Rick? Hey, Morty. Rick? Are you far away or are you inside something? Is the camera? Is everything a camera?
Welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Liberty Radio studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we got a full crew in today. We got Melanie in with us today. Good to see you.
Hey.
And as always, my normal co-host, Ms. Aria DeMezzo, sitting across. How you doing today, Aria?
I'm all right.
Yay. I'm stressed out of my mind. I just sent my wife to cross an international border with my children in a vehicle. Never fun.
No.
It just stresses the hell out of me. I mean, she's only had trouble once, and my daughter pissed in the guy's office on the floor, which was pretty funny, I thought.
He deserved it.
Yeah. She was pregnant at the time. Hidayah wasn't even born yet. And I have a sticker on the car that says, do you want this car as bad as you as bad as you want your life?
You can't do that in Canada.
Driver is armed and will shoot. I've got like all these gun stickers all over my car. Well, my wife didn't really think of the fact that it's because we sell them at the events that we go to. So when the guy's like, "Where's the guns?" and she's like, "What guns? What are you talking about?" and he's like, "The stickers." And she's like, "The stickers?" And he was like, "Get out of the car." And she was stuck at the border for 3 hours over it. It's totally my fault.
Yeah,
you know?
they act like they ain't got nothing to do with the border.
Well, see, now she knows to tell them. She's like, "Oh, the stickers. Yeah, my husband is a vendor. He sells stickers and T-shirts and stuff like that at festivals. And we put them on the back of the vehicle so that you can see what they look like on the window or on a car. That's why there's so many of them." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, you have a good day." You know, and like she's like, "That's why there's so many, and there's like so many different kinds. You know, there's like a Hello Kitty one and Panda one, and like there's just like I'm surprised we don't have a Scooby-Doo holding an AK-47. You know what I'm saying?" And so that's her explanation now, because it's true. You know, I do sell those stickers at those events, so the Canadian people are just like, "Oh, well, that's reasonable. You enjoy your time in Toronto, ma'am. Goodbye." So I am hoping that, you know, but every time that she goes, I'm worried that that's going to happen again, because it's like a 3 hour ordeal. Stuck at the border with them, like pulling the van apart, looking for anything they can find to try to wag their finger at her. So anyway, we've got Mortified Penguin on with us, caller from Virginia, and he's been talking about his views on economics, What's up, Mortified?
Yeah, and I just wanted to argue. We were talking about Walmart and their. Like I said, I really don't care about inheritance, but we do have to realize that for one family to generate $60 billion from thousands upon thousands of stores, it requires it's due to the state privileges. You have to recognize the state privileges to that. Whatever conclusion you want to draw from that, I just think that the state socializes the protection of their physical and intellectual property rights and their rights of ownership of all the stores. And
okay, so I agree with that in part. So I do not think that businesses would be as large as they are in the absence of corporate status.
Yeah.
Because without that, you would have to say, okay, that guy over in California, I'm in New Hampshire. What is he doing with my products? And you have to, yeah.
I mean, that issue has been solved since the 11th century and the Maghribi traders of the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a higher risk if it's
Maghribi.
5 days away. Well, California isn't 5 days away, but
I mean, that's just a simple matter of accountability. I mean, it's been solved for 1,000 years.
Yeah, but if he runs off with it and he's like, I don't think that businesses
especially
would
in
be
today,
that
I mean,
big.
they didn't even have cell phones back then, and they were able to achieve this across thousands of miles distances with people working at different ports and things like that. We have these technologies today.
Without a state.
All I'm saying is the state doesn't socialize the cost.
Well, the problem is
We don't pay for it.
corporations are a state-granted protection. It's a government-given protection from accountability for shareholders. That's all it really is. Is it's saying if your business does something absolutely horrible to people and you were involved in it, the only thing you're really going to lose is money. So if you kill
you're only going to lose money. You're
7,000
only going to
people in India,
lose
if your company kills 7,000
what you
people in
invested.
India because of gross negligence, which literally happened,
Or intentional negligence,
Yes.
like Bayer selling
Yes.
HIV-tainted aspirin to Brazil.
Yes.
Yeah, so if Walmart has, I don't know how many
Nobody
employees
goes to
Walmart
jail.
has, but if Walmart has 1 million employees, I don't trust 1 million people. I don't know if you trust 1 million people, but I don't trust 1 million people. So there's not 1 million people that I'm willing to grant not agency theory.
Agent status.
Agent status to where whatever they do, I'm responsible for it. Absolutely not. So I don't think they would be that big, but that also doesn't mean. I mean, first of all, the answer to communism is not more communism.
That's not at all the way it works. The CEO doesn't have to trust the 1 million employees. He has to trust his direct underlings. There may be 5 to 10 of them. The 5 to 10 trust their underlings. There may be 5 to 10 of them each. And they trust their underlings all the way down to store managers to supervisors. Let me finish. All the way down to store managers to supervisors to department heads to the employees themselves.
And the people who are guilty should be prosecuted if something bad happens, up to the point of we know that this person was giving the orders. And if that doesn't go all the way to the top, then so be it, you know. But the people up to that point should be heads rolling. But that's not what's happening. Instead, our government protects these people through this artificial granted protective status. I'm anti-corporation as a government protected status. I don't believe government should be protecting businesses in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any fictitious entities, but I don't think that like Walmart's getting a whole lot of like security for free because the police exist or anything like that. What they're getting is
I don't think
my cashier
Walmart's
can do whatever, and all I have to do, I might lose
Walmart's
some
not
stock.
the problem. Walmart's a domestic company. The problem is Halliburton. The problem is Bayer. The problem is who was it?
Lockheed Martin.
Who was it that had the American company that had factories in India, and they built something. They literally poisoned the whole entire area. They killed thousands of people, and it's just like, oh well, we'll just shut it down and leave, you know.
America doing that is what's still wrong with South America.
Yeah. So Shell.
We'll just dump this sewage
Exxon,
here.
These are the companies that they are getting something out of it. Our military is basically working on
Shell,
their
yes,
behalf.
but like every single corporation, Shell
Sony?
is getting defense.
Apple?
No, they
How
all
is
are.
Sony
They
and
certainly
Apple
all are.
getting
They're property rights.
Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the lithium capital of the world, and we are occupying them because that's where your battery for your cell phone comes from. And all these things that lithium-based technologies, it's got to come from somewhere, and most of it's in Afghanistan. So we'll be in Afghanistan as long as the tech revolution exists. Until we find a new
we'll stay
power
after that
source.
because of the poppy.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Once we get done extracting all the mineral resources, we'll just stick around so they can farm poppies for us. I mean, that's just the way it is. So you've got heroin dealers. They aren't even part of the whole corporation thing that are getting this socialized assistance from the taxpayer via the United States government.
But you have some like Watson who are part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom, we'll continue on with this. Good Lord, we're all over the place right now, but we've got Mortified Penguin on the line with us, and we'll be back with more great talk radio right after this.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Allentown, Pennsylvania 5-year-old Trisha Billings announced from her dining room Saturday that the circle was no longer her favorite shape. The landmark declaration comes just days after the 5-year-old changed her favorite color from red to purple. While experts have struggled to determine what Billings' interim favorite shape will be, the 5-year-old assured reporters that the majority of her favorite things will remain consistent for the time being. Disney executives revealed in an interview Friday that all of the company's animated and live-action movies take place in a single unified universe, saying Never Never Land is actually mere minutes away from the jungle where Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba danced in a straight line and sang Hakuna Matata. Company heads stated that every character from Air Bud to Jiminy Cricket all inhabit the same interconnected world, just as Walt Disney envisioned it.
A lot of people don't know this, but Daryl Hannah's character in Splash actually lives in the exact same coral reef where Nemo went missing. And if filmmakers so desired, they could have Princess Jasmine, for example, hop into Herbie Fully Loaded to go watch the Jonas Brothers 3D concert experience.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
What you thinking? Leave that on record spinning. You feel the rhythm going. Legs ain't got time to lay low. Your knees are bending, so it's time to get up and let go. Hey,
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Liberty Radio studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've got the wasteful spending report. We cover this every year that I've been on the air. So this will be the third wasteful spending report that we've covered. This one is, what's the word I'm looking for here? Humorous?
They're all humorous.
Right?
I'm curious if we spent another $300,000 teaching Filipino hookers how to use condoms.
Right.
How does that cost $300,000? Like, that's a diagram, basically.
Well, because you got to fly back and forth to the Philippines, and you got to ship all the condoms.
And then you have to hire the prostitute
so that you can
to
have
make sure
sex
they
with
know
her
how. Yeah.
and give her a
yeah.
demonstration.
Yes. Translation: we paid a lot of money for the CIA to go screw hookers in the Philippines.
I never thought about that, but that's probably really how it went down.
Yeah. Well, if you want to understand how it went down, what you do is watch the Goldbergs, the latest episode, where they write the kid's college application, and they call. He's like, I gave 25 cents to your grandfather one time. That was raised money for a veterans charity. Because he gave this guy, old man, a quarter. So that was raising.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
On his college on your college application, you put extracurricular activities.
Uh-huh.
What he wrote on his college application was spent the summer raising money for a veterans charity or for homeless veterans. And what he actually did was there was a homeless veteran on the street, and he gave the guy a quarter. So he called that a summer of raising money for homeless vets. That's what they did.
Points
they
for
spent
creativity.
$300,000 on the CIA having sex with Filipino hookers. And they put it down as a study of how to teach Filipino hookers to use condoms. Well, let's see here. While the White House and Congress are moaning this year about the automatic budget cuts, the federal government still managed to spend billions of dollars on ridiculously frivolous projects, from a $384,989 grant to Yale University to study duck penises to $1.9.
Time out. What? Duck.
$11.
My familiarity with bird anatomy is not good.
Yes.
Birds have penises?
Ducks have penises that look like corkscrews, and they actually they
ducks
grow.
are rapey.
They grow. So if you have a duck, a male duck, and a female duck, and the female duck has a vagina that's too deep, the male duck's penis will grow to reach where it needs to be.
Isn't that true of all penises?
They break off from time to time and regrow. Yeah. I used to farm ducks. That's how I know. And duck sex is like rape. It is the most brutal. Like, the male just walks over.
Cats are pretty bad.
And grabs the female by the back of the head, shoves her head underwater.
Oh my God.
And jumps.
Okay, that's worse than cats.
And jumps on its back. And it's just like, you're taking it whether you want it or not.
Jesus.
Yeah. I used to have two sets, and I had one that we called McLovin, and my super bad. Yeah, my Drake of the Muscovy Ducks was constantly fighting McLovin. McLovin was half his size. He was a Welsh Harlequin duck.
I don't know what that means.
They're a rare breed. And he was awful. The females would like have to take him on 2 and 3 at one time to get him to leave them alone. They would have to gang up on him. Like three females at once. Just like whooping his butt to get him to stop. Yeah, they were pretty brutal.
Only in the South.
Yep. Yeah. Welcome to the hills. Well, they also spent $1.9 billion for lifestyle lessons for Senate staffers.
Lifestyle lessons.
How much money?
$1.9 million. $30 billion in questionable federal spending is detailed in the Waste Book that was released Tuesday by Senator Tom Coburn, who annually compiles a report. Washington has reversed from the wisdom of the old cliche that less is needed when less is wasted, Coburn wrote in the report. Every branch of government bickered this year over the need to spend more while continuing to misspend with an attitude of waste more, want more. Near the top of the report's list of 100...
Well, I used to do outsourcing work for larger companies as part of my IT gig in Mississippi, and it was very common that they would just waste whatever money they had, especially toward the end of the year, because otherwise their department will get budget cuts. Yeah.
Near the top of the 100 most wasteful projects was a $319 million initially spent building the defective Obamacare website, coupled with a $684 million ad campaign to get Americans to go visit it while it was broken.
Dude, I would have totally built that website for $1 million.
Taxpayers also got stuck with the bills for $10 million for National Guard advertising tie-ins with the Soldier of Steel movie, despite budget cuts reducing the Guard's strength by 8,000 soldiers. Meaning they were recruiting for more when their budget had been cut and they were actually going to have to send kids home. $7 billion for the Pentagon to destroy vehicles and other equipment used in wars in the Middle East rather than sell or ship them home. 17.5.
Well, that's preferable.
Yeah, $17.5 million for special tax exemptions.
I'm not sure Molotov cocktails are that expensive, but
for Nevada brothels, including tax deductions for groceries, wages for prostitutes, rent, and utilities.
Yeah, those aren't expenses.
How much money?
$17.5 million.
We spent $17.5 million subsidizing hookers.
That's not what that sentence read to me. That sentence read to me, they read through people's tax returns and said X amount of expense was deducted from this industry.
Yes.
Like, they didn't give the brothel a check for that money. That's just what they deducted off of their taxes.
This is a special tax exemption, so I'm assuming that's above and beyond what the normal exemption would be.
That doesn't mean it's a credit.
Okay.
It just means they're robbing them. I mean, it could be, but that's not what it sounds like. It just means they're robbing the brothels less last year. No.
Nearly $1 million since 2010 for the National Endowment of Humanity's Popular Romance Project, which studies romance novels, films, comics, and internet fan fiction. $630,000.
They're studying internet fan fiction?
Yes.
Those poor souls.
$630,000 spent by the State Department to buy followers on its Facebook and Twitter accounts.
To buy followers?
Yes. $325,525 for a National Institute of Health study that found wives would be happier if they could calm down faster during arguments with their husbands.
Wives would be happier if they weren't as unhappy.
That was just petty.
Yeah. And $150,000 to support the Puppets Take Long Island Festival in Sag Harbor. When it comes to spending your money, those in Washington tend to see no waste. Speak no waste. Cut no waste.
So just of the ones we heard, what is the total dollar figure that was wasted?
$7 billion plus $27.5 million plus $1 million plus another million.
So
plus,
between 7 and 8 million?
No, billion.
Between 7 and 8 billion?
No, looks like 7.2 billion.
Well, there's your wall, Trump.
Or 0.02, yeah, 0.2 billion.
You take here we go, Trump. This is perfect government for you. Take $5 billion of that, use it to build your wall, and then use the other $2.2 billion to hire a bunch of Mexicans to destroy the wall. It helps the economy. It gets you your wall, and it keeps us from having a wall.
There we go. And it makes the left happy too, because everybody on the left loves a shovel-ready project. We'll get unionized Mexican labor to tear
Even
down
better.
the wall. Boom! Everybody's happy. We'll be back with the Crypto Hour, so don't go anywhere.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your Liberty Beat for Monday, February 4th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,312. Silver opened at $15.72. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,412. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, for much of the past 20 years, critics of U.S. foreign policy have noted it is often countries with sizable oil reserves that most often find themselves the targets of U.S.-backed humanitarian interventions aimed at restoring democracy. Analysis of the nearly 2 decades-long U.S. effort aimed at regime change and democracy promotion in Venezuela has long linked such efforts to the fact that the South American country has the world's largest proven oil reserves. Minpress News reports that the current U.S. effort to topple the government, led by Nicolas Maduro, has become notable for the openness of the coup architects in admitting that putting American corporations, Chevron and Halliburton chief among them, in charge of Venezuelan oil reserves is the driving factor behind the aggressive policy. Last week, Senator Marco Rubio, a key player in the Trump administration's push for regime change, tweeted that the biggest American buyers of Venezuelan oil are Valero Energy and Chevron. Refining heavy crude from Venezuela supports great jobs in the Gulf Coast. For the sake of U.S. workers, I, Rubio, hope that they will begin working with the administration of President Guaido and cut off the illegitimate Maduro regime. In January, the United States government recognized Guaido as the legitimate president of the country. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybraybotanicals.com. And Liberty Beat listeners can currently save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Monday, February 4th, 2019. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Voters in Denver, Colorado are set to decide whether to decriminalize possession of small amounts of the hallucinogenic drug psilocybin, which would make it the first city in the United States to hold prosecution of people caught with magic mushrooms. The Independent reports the Colorado City will ask residents to vote on the proposal in May, which does not seek to legalize magic mushrooms, but instead makes them a low priority for law enforcement. Under the proposals, growing would also be decriminalized, although the changes would stop short of allowing the drug to be sold. The investigation into a police officer who tasered a little girl in the back is now a war on cops, according to police. That word comes in a report from the Free Thought Project. The shooting happened last year in Cincinnati when a police officer tasered an 11-year-old girl after he suspected her of stealing food. Since that time, Officer Kevin Brown was disciplined by his department but never fired. Now he is the subject of a criminal FBI investigation that his superiors are calling a politically motivated assault on cops. Cincinnati Fraternal Order of Police President Dan Hills said on Bill Cunningham's talk show on Friday, quote, "The war on police isn't only when people shoot policemen, it's when politicians, and even sometimes politicians with things on their collar within the police department, take part in allowing this kind of assault on our cops," end quote. Not only are Hill's comments incredibly offensive to the family of the victim, but it highlights the disturbing mentality being seen from police departments across the country. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details on how to raise your business's profile in partnership with the Liberty Beat. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting Monday, February 4th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Citing his erratic social behavior, nondescript occupation, and habit of accidentally walking off piers while pretending to read newspapers, acquaintances of 37-year-old Jeff Walther suspect he may be a bumbling spy. Residents of Worcester, Massachusetts are kind of hoping a Panera Bread will show up and plow over an obnoxious neighborhood bakery. Locals have said that the soulless restaurant chain, with its simple, impersonal experience, would be just the thing to help run the precious mom-and-pop establishment out of business.
Callahan's is really lovely and all, but it would be such a relief to have some college-aged kid take my order without making eye contact. I just need a cup of coffee. You know, we're not friends.
A follow-up survey of Worcester residents confirmed that 72% of patrons would rather be alerted of an order by a vibrating pager than a kind-faced woman who calls everybody sweetheart. In other news, feds break up a brutal Las Vegas man-fighting ring. A Christmas card ominously makes no mention of the twins. And the Boy Scouts celebrate 100 years of preparing teens for not having cool friends.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Andros has again invaded the Lilat system. General Pepper has turned to a new Star Fox team headed by Fox McCloud to save Corneria and free the Lilat system once again.
Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live. It's sun going down.
It's starting to cool off a bit.
It is. It's supposed to get down to the 30s, high 20s tonight, I believe. Which, we'll survive that. It's not like the last time that the oil in the house ran out and it was like 5 degrees outside.
Yeah.
The inside of the house was already in the 50s by noon. I was sweating when I left there at 4 o'clock today. I mean, three something today. So, and that we hadn't had heat since we woke up. I know because I tried to wash my hands when I got up and there was no hot water. And that was at 5:30 this morning. So my son didn't notice it.
I did.
Yeah, I did too. Ugh. Anyway, so interesting story for the lead story for Crypto Hour here. This is coming from Gizmodo. You got a crypto exchange in Canada says it cannot repay the $190 million that it owes to its clients because, well, their founder died with the passwords.
And there is so much wrong here. And it's not even the likelihood of dishonesty because, I mean, that's too easy to track,
Yeah.
But just the idea of the crypto exchange owner being the only person with access to everybody's cryptocurrency. The exchange you're using, whatever exchange that is, may be doing this. We don't know.
Yeah.
You would hope that most exchanges would have more sense than this, but clearly they don't.
They don't.
I mean, this guy had almost $500 million. Thank you.
Okay.
It's super distracting.
It is. Rev, we love you, but you're fired.
I mean, to be fair, that's a relatively modest pick for him.
Yes.
Thank God.
Still fired.
We should show the audience not that, but his drawing.
Right. Yeah, don't be offended, Rev. That's something that my sisters and us, we say to each other. You're fired when you do something that is inappropriate.
So this is the drawing that Rev sent us. I don't know how well that's really coming out, but it's us
whatever
as
we
Nazis.
See there is how they see.
Yeah, but I'm really far
Nazis.
away from that. And they might have it full screen and things like that, so it might actually be more visible.
He drew me as a cross between Che Guevara and a cross between Fidel Castro and who's the guy with the puppets, with the dead terrorist puppet?
Oh, I don't know, but I know that guy. I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Jeff something.
Yeah. So basically, he made Jeff Goldblum, right?
No, Jeff Goldblum is cool.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I'm still upset that there are no boobs on Arya the Mutilator at all.
For real.
No.
Well, because
what's going on, Rev?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, crypto exchanges.
So the Canadian crypto exchange Quadriga CX says that it can't pay most of the $190 million in client holdings after its 30-year-old founder, Gerald Cotton, the only person who knew the passwords for its, quote, cold storage, unexpectedly died in India in December of last year. In a sworn affidavit with the Nova Scotia Supreme Court, widow Jennifer Robertson said that Quadriga CX owes its customers some $190 million in both cryptocurrency and fiat money. Now, Quadriga CX has filed for creditor protection because it says it can't access the funds stored in cold storage, just a comparatively smaller amount in a, quote, hot wallet used for transfers. The exchange holds roughly 26,500 Bitcoin, 11,000 Bitcoin Cash, 11,000 Bitcoin Cash SV, 35,000 Bitcoin Gold, 200,000 Litecoin, about 430,000 Ethereum, totaling $147 million. It's not clear what portion of the exchange's crypto holdings were kept in cold storage versus the hot wallet, In the affidavit, Robertson explained that, quote, only a minimal amount of coins, end quote, were stored in the hot wallet, but specifics were not provided. Robertson also said that
Well, it's substantially lower than 10%. It's probably closer to 1%.
Yeah. Robertson also said that Cotton held sole responsibility for handling funds and coins, and no other member of the team could access the stored funds. Quadriga CX announced Cotton's death mid-January, saying he died due to complications with Crohn's disease on December the 9th, 2018, while traveling in India, where he was opening an orphanage to provide a home and safe refuge for children in need. While Robertson has Cotton's laptop in her possession, CoinDesk wrote that she says she doesn't know the password, and a technical expert recruited by the firm has been unable to bypass its encryption. She also says...
Hold on, they just need to get into the laptop.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they're not even trying to break the wallet. They just need to... Oh, that's ridiculous.
She also says Cotton left behind no business records.
He's got $190 million in crypto sitting on a laptop.
Yeah.
This is why you don't keep your crypto on exchanges, people. I kept small amounts of crypto on a laptop, and I had the same issue where I encrypted it and then lost the encryption key. It's going to be more simple than just, it's going to be more complicated than just resetting the password, which can be done in 10 seconds if you're competent and know what you're doing. But decrypting it when you don't know the actual key, it's probably 512-bit, you know? It would take the NSA to get into it.
Yeah. Let's see here.
And even they might not be able to. And it would take them years, even if they were. It's gone.
Some other reporting has suggested it's possible some of the funds in question moved after the case was publicized. And though the evidence was not definitive, it and the strange circumstances of Cotton's death spurred accusations that his demise was either faked or the pretext for an exit scam by other parties with access to the holdings, according to CCN. However, Robertson included a death certificate in the filings.
Well, how hard is it to get a fake death certificate from India?
According to the CBC, the government confirmed a Canadian had died in India but could not offer more details due to privacy laws. As the CBC noted, the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce froze $26 million worth of Quadriga CX's assets in January of 2018 after finding irregularities with payment processing. And a document from the Ontario Superior Court of Justice in 2018 concluded that $67 million worth of transactions end up improperly transferred into the personal account of Custodian Inc., a payment processor. The issue was resolved, though, according to CoinDesk. Quadriga CX says that the legal fight, as well as ongoing issues with payment processors, has severely compromised their ability to access tens of millions of dollars worth of holdings held by the processors. 2017 Wall Street Journal article noted that unlike stock exchanges, which only facilitate transactions, crypto exchanges are uniquely vulnerable because they store cryptocurrencies for their customers. However, typically, the threats associated with this practice are hackers and cybercriminals rather than just simple lost passwords. So... we'll be back with more on this story. If you want to get involved and give us your commentary, give us a call 603-283-6160 or hit us on Discord at discord.lrn.fm. We'll be back with more Call to Freedom.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
The Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting as always from the Liberty Radio Network studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been having a conversation about crypto exchanges and the owner who died, who lost nearly $200 million of company funds due to incompetence on the part of seemingly every person who worked there.
Yeah, but he's the main boss. So, I mean, in all honesty, you have to say the buck really stops with him.
Clearly, and literally, and is going to go to the grave with him now that it has stopped with him.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, it may not even be real. I mean, this looks like it could even, they're saying that they think, how can you think stuff move? It's the blockchain, like.
Yeah. I mean,
unless it's Monero, you could just go check.
Yeah, but that wasn't listed.
Monero.
Yeah.
No.
Right, yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They can go check. Assuming they have the wallet, because they might just be assuming that these wallets exist. Like, just because I have a flash drive and I'm like, oh, there's a wallet on here, that doesn't mean there is. Like, unless you have a wallet address.
No, but the $170 million in crypto is certainly somewhere. And I would imagine that they have to send funds regularly, at least, to the cold wallet. So it's very likely that some of the employees would have the cold storage wallet address. If nothing else, to send some of the hot wallets cryptocurrency to it.
Yeah. Well, I would think that she would be like, here's the wallet addresses. The wife.
Yeah.
But, like, my wife knows my passwords. She just does. We've been married for 10 years almost. Be 10 years, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Yeah. Made it. She knows all my passwords. All of them. She doesn't even ask anymore. She just reads my email. She's been like, so, and tell me about an email from like 2007. I didn't even know you then. How the hell do you know that?
Oh, well, that's just boring though. Like,
yeah.
that, like, yeah, because like I don't want to be standing there stupid. Like, if you know if Bob dies, I don't want to have to tell him. Well, I have no idea where, like, because then it just makes me look stupid. But like,
for real,
I ain't got time to be sitting around and reading an email from 2007.
Right.
Unless there's a reason to look at that specific email.
I mean, even though my wife had all of my passports and all of that when we were married, if I had been the owner of a crypto exchange and had $170 million in a cold wallet linked to that exchange, I would imagine that the customers and the employees alike would trust that I did not give that information to a non-employee.
Well, right, but
which
she
your
would have
wife
to,
would certainly be.
Yeah, she would have. I don't know if why your wife would certainly be an employee. Like, you would have to make her.
Well, my wife's an accountant, so she would probably be an employee.
Yeah, you would have to make her an executive or something.
If I had a business, like a real business, like I ran a restaurant or something, I would definitely be like, honey, you went to school to learn about numbers and how to do taxes. So do the taxes. You know, because that saves a lot of money for a business to have somebody like in the family that can just do the business's taxes.
But I mean, that's a fundamentally different thing from just being like, okay, wife, here's a code to access $170 million.
True.
I mean, she would absolutely have to be brought into the company at minimum.
Yeah, so she shouldn't be outside of the company and have a code for $190 million that doesn't belong to him. But then somebody else should have it. Either at least two people should have it, or have a dead man's key, if nothing else. I mean, come on.
Have it broken up between 3 people, something.
Yeah.
You get 4 words, you get 4 words, you get 4 words, something.
But it sounds like he was a control freak, for sure.
Yeah.
Because only a control freak would do something like that. I've got $170 million. I'm not trusting any of you people with it.
In the filings, Robertson wrote that the exchange urgently needs a stay of proceedings, which will allow Quadriga and its contractors additional time to find whatever stores of cryptocurrency may be available and negotiate the bank drafts available to Quadriga. This is a tough lesson learned, Calgary customer Elvis Kavalik told CBC.
No, it's not. This lesson was learned in 1993. You just refused to listen.
Adding that he had been unable to withdraw $15,000 in holdings all the way back in October.
Yeah, don't keep $15K in an exchange.
I would probably avoid cryptocurrency in the future, Kavalik said. They've left us completely in the dark, and I'm kind of preparing for the worst.
Cryptocurrency didn't leave you anywhere. You weren't dealing with cryptocurrency. You were dealing with this dude. He died.
Why in the name of God would he leave $15,000 on an exchange? That's moronic.
Well, not only that, but what he's saying is that they were having, he couldn't get that off of there all the way back in October, but this guy didn't die until December. So that means that these issues...
Well, he was in India building an orphanage probably during that time, so...
Oh, so just if he doesn't have Wi-Fi, I can't move my money?
That would be my guess.
Wow. Not impressed.
No.
Not impressed at all.
This is horrific business practice. This is horrific in every way, and it's going to be bad for cryptocurrency as a whole if the story really starts getting legs and circulating. For all we know, Coinbase is doing this crap. We just don't know. And they're the largest exchange in the world, I think.
Yeah.
At least in the United States, and they may very well be doing it. Here's a Canadian one, and they're more regulated than we are. You would expect that at some point the Canadian government would be like, oh, yeah, dude, no.
Yeah.
Just know.
You can't keep all this on your personal laptop.
God, a laptop. A freaking laptop. I hope it had the G-force detector in it so that it detected when falling and it immediately stops the hard drive. I hope it was decked out. I hope we're talking about $30,000, $40,000 laptop made out of freaking solid steel with all sorts of rubber bumpers in it.
No, it's probably like the Dell off the shelf.
It probably was. Or an Acer.
They can't get it. They've hired a firm.
It was a $180 Acer from Walmart watch.
Well, they've hired a firm, and the firm can't get into it. So
well, they need to hire me. I'm better.
I'm assuming it's better than a $180 Acer.
Or they just don't know what tools there are available, because a lot of these are not exactly easy to find.
Oh, and then all of his passwords are like auto-saved on his Google browser once you get inside.
It's very likely that the laptop's operating system is not actually encrypted. That's a really unusual thing to do. I only did it because I'm a tech person and I'm kind of crazy when it comes to things like that. But it's not at all a common practice. They probably just can't figure out his password to get into the laptop, in which case 10% of that crypto holding, and I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it for 1%.
Call Aria, 603-283-6160.
I could have it done by the end of the show.
There you go, guys. Give her a call.
We're not even that far from Canada.
For real. My wife's on her way there now.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more of the Crypto Hour. We've got, what's going on here? Apple planning a gaming subscription service and a new Australian blockchain gaming partnership. We'll talk about that when we get back.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Free Talk Live.
So when talking to a liberal, you have to be politically correct. But when talking to a conservative, you have to be patriotically correct.
Yeah, it's funny how conservatives forget while they're making fun of liberals and how triggered they get over, social issues. But if you don't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem at a hockey game or something, you might get some glares. You might get some people really upset.
I actually had somebody tell me when I was at the State House last week, you should really be standing during the pledge. No, I shouldn't. I don't pledge allegiance to things that don't, give some kind of reciprocal
I'm a slave
protection.
To a piece of cloth. This is my stupid brain-dead life. Amen.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Here we go.
Back to the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from Keene, New Hampshire in the Liberty Radio studio. We've got a report here of a new, it's not in the U.S., it's in Australia, but there is a new partnership between a blockchain company and I guess a fairly well-known gaming company in Australia. Blockchain company Hashcash Consultants has announced a partnership with an undisclosed Australian video games developer to roll out its white label crypto exchange and tokenization service for the gaming industry. The development was announced in a Hashcash press release February the 4th. Hashcash is a blockchain firm focused on providing white label blockchain solutions for the gaming sector.
What the hell is a white label solution?
Pre-developed solutions that can be purchased and rebranded by their clients to facilitate the shift to a new blockchain-based business model.
They couldn't fit the word paradigm in there?
Nope.
Or decentralized?
The firm announced in the press release that it's partnering with a prominent Australian video game developer, though it did not reveal the name of the company.
It was probably the people who localized South Park: The Stick of Truth and removed the aborted fetus zombies and put panda koalas there instead.
What?
It really happened too. Yeah, the localization company that did South Park: Stick of Truth for Australia, because of censorship laws in Australia, which are really strict, they had to remove all of the aborted fetus Nazi zombies, which it makes sense in context. No, it doesn't. But it's reasonable in context, I suppose. And they instead put koala heads in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were so many Australian game developers. You got Asheron Designs, Irrational Games, Chrome Studios, Red Tribe, Tantalus Media, Taurus Games, Transmission Games, Wildfire Games. That's just the top 9.
I've never heard of any of them, nor played any games that they've made, I don't believe.
I guess they make PC and Macintosh games? I don't know. Anyway, it says here they've not said which one of these quote-unquote prominent Australian game development companies that Hashcash is with, In 2017, Hashcash raised $150 million in an early-stage venture funding to develop its solutions, which encompass initial coin offering services, crypto exchange development support, and crypto payment processing technology. The press release outlines how a shift to a tokenized blockchain-based model can help innovate the gaming sector, allowing gaming companies to monetize their ecosystems by opening up decentralized micropayment channels between content producers, streamers, and viewers.
Oh, so it's okay. So this whole thing is a scheme to get more money to gaming companies at the expense of gamers. Because it's not
a way
enough.
to turn Microsoft Gold into money.
Well, it's a way to put it on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Really. But I'm not sure what benefit that has. But, I mean, it's not enough that they already charge you $60 for a PC game that has no right to cost more than $50. But then they sell you a season pass for $30 on top of it to unlock the next 6 months of DLC. But then they also release premium DLC that you don't get with the season pass that you have to pay $20 to get.
Yeah.
So you basically paid $110 for this piece of crap garbage game, and you could have waited another 9 months and gotten the complete edition, because they have the balls now to call these versions the complete editions, because they're openly mocking you at this point, saying, haha, you bought the incomplete edition, you're an idiot, and oh look, you paid 6 times the amount that this person who bought the complete edition did. So pirate
just
this
wait for
crap.
the Game of the Year edition or whatever when it comes out.
Yeah,
That's what you
pirate this
do.
crap. Tell them to screw off and pirate it.
They learned that, I'm going to have to say, with Morrowind, Elder Scrolls, way back in the day, because that's what they did with that one.
They did what with that one?
The DLC, and if you wait till the Game of the Year edition, then you get the DLC comes with it.
Well, Skyrim at least had the decency to call theirs the Legendary Edition.
Yeah.
And it also qualified you to get the Special Edition for free. So I guess I should re-clarify all of that. Skyrim, the Mundane Edition, also had a Legendary Edition that you could purchase to get the Special Edition. And
Which wasn't as good as the Game of the Year edition, because the Game of the Year edition came with all the DLC except one.
And it had add-ons and mods.
Yes.
Special Edition has them too, but it's never going to have anywhere near the kind of community that
Legendary has. Yeah.
Or the mundane Legendary. That's what I call it. Because if you have the Special Edition, then this is the Mundane Edition.
Vanilla,
right?
that's what I always heard it called, the Vanilla Edition.
Well, it's vanilla only if you don't have any of the expansion packs.
Okay.
The core game is the vanilla one.
Injustice. They were awful with Injustice. They didn't even have all the DLC characters finished yet. They were like, pay if you bought the original, then you bought the DLC, you could buy them one character at the time, and then after the Legendary or whatever edition came out,
the We Boned You Hard edition,
it had six DLC characters, and that was like, oh wow, but only 2 of them were ready.
Yep.
And then a
Sounds
few months
about right.
later, you signed in to play, and you had 2 new characters, and you're like, where the hell did they come from? And then a little while later, you sign in, you're like, holy crap, where'd the Ninja Turtles come from? Because you could be each turtle.
At least you don't have to pay additionally for them, though.
Well, you kind of did, because
I got Injustice for $5 on PC.
The original version, I'm going to say...
And it was the complete edition.
I think the original version was like $40, and the whatever edition, it's like $75.
Oh, the premium edition?
Yeah, the premium
whatever
edition,
they call
whatever they call it. Yeah.
The only premium edition I've ever bought was for Disgaea PC.
The Don't Forget the Lube edition.
And it's because yes. That is more accurate.
Yeah.
And that
Don't
was only
Forget the
because
Lube
it was like $2 more, and it came with an art book and a soundtrack and some other crap, because Disgaea's got really good music.
Mm-hmm.
It's also got really good humor. Really fun game.
They had one that came for free with Xbox Gold one time. It's the car game. You play soccer.
Oh, yeah. Rocket League.
Rocket League. And my wife turns on Rocket League so that she can listen to the music. Because
Awesome.
the music is all up and coming, nobody's ever heard of them DJs, and there's new music added like every month.
Orcs Must Die 2 also has really awesome music. It's kind of a mixture of gaming music and metal. It's really good, especially for an action-packed tower defense game.
So, excuse me. So did what was the one with the little knights on it that was so big for a while?
The Little Knights on it.
Yeah, it had the Little Knights. It was a co-op game. It was wicked popular for a while. You don't remember?
No.
I don't remember it either. I have it. I got it for free. Xbox Gold Live is awesome because you get like, I think I get 5 free games every month.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of hard to beat, especially since I got like 2 terabyte hard drive.
Origin
I've got
on
30
PC
games on there
used
I've never
to give
played.
away games, but they don't any longer. I've noticed.
That's
They
one of the
used to
best
have-
things about new gaming. I mean, even with all the crap about how they're never done. You know, I've got games that have 50, 60 gigs worth of downloads that I needed before you could play. You know, all that kind of stuff. The ones where the subscription packages do give you a lot of free crap for what you pay. Pay $60 once, you get like $3,000 of the games for free. It's a pretty good deal, I think. Anyway, when we get back, we're going to be talking about Apple and how they want to separate you from more of your money.
There are basically 2 types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video
No, I have work today. This is. You ain't gonna make. Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me.
You
What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Back here to the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour here on LRN.FM, your home for gaming, tech, crypto, blockchain, all the zeros and ones that you could ever want. All that stuff that Aria knows all about, but not me.
Speaking of games, so I played the game starring Chris Cantwell on Twitch this morning. Angry Goy 2. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean...
And you didn't get banned from Twitch yet.
I did not. I'm expecting it. Well, very few people watched it, which was actually kind of surprising.
You streamed yourself playing it. I thought you meant you play... Okay.
Oh, no. I streamed it live on Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Aria is awesome.
It's very much a Zombies Ate My Neighbors kind of thing with inferior graphics and inferior fun and inferior creativity. It's really just you play as a straight cis white dude running around shooting straight cis white dudes.
Yeah.
And I don't think they thought this through.
No.
Because they're like, these guys want to exterminate the white male, and we hate that, so we want to exterminate the white male. Because that's all I shot at the entire hundreds of them in this video game. Just white men coming at me saying stupid stuff. I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah.
Because they were supposed to be Antifa commie zombies or something. I don't know. But it was
Antifa zombies.
Yeah, it was a total waste of time. I made it about 15 minutes into it, and I was like, okay, I'm playing Zelda now.
Right. Well, speaking of commie, what will upset the commie zombies? Apple is one of the most money-motivated companies on earth, coming out with what they think will make them a lot more money. This is actually coming from Apple Insider. This short video we're gonna be hearing, talking about the new Apple gaming platform.
A recent rumor suggested that Apple is planning to create a Netflix-style gaming subscription service. Users would basically pay a monthly fee to gain access to a selection of game titles, most likely iOS games. Now, why would Apple want to do that? iOS gaming is already extremely profitable. Neil Campling of Mirabot Securities noted that 82% of revenues from Apple's App Store come from gaming, making Apple one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, even though the company doesn't actually make any games. But if they don't make any games, where does the revenue come from? Apple takes a 30% cut from every digital product sold on the App Store, which includes game sales and in-app purchases. According to a report from Business Insider, Fortnite made over $455 million on just Apple devices in 2018, even though it's free to play. The revenue was made solely from in-app purchases, which ultimately means that Apple made around $316 million with their 30% cut. So if iOS gaming is so hugely successful, why in the world would Apple want to create a gaming subscription service, especially if there are so many games available to play for free?
Can you pause it?
We'll answer that in just a moment, but let's...
Because I can answer his question quickly and succinctly. The reason why is because gaming companies or any company involved in gaming, they're not happy with some of the money. No matter how large that money is, they want
all
money of the money.
Yeah, they want all the monies. All of the monies. Not just part, all.
First, talk about the two general types of gaming subscription services we have today. First, there are the subscription services where you pay a monthly fee and you gain instant access to play a variety of games without having to purchase them, like Xbox One Pass and EA Access. Then there are the more expensive cloud gaming services that allow you to do the same thing, except without requiring you to own a powerful console. The games are actually powered by rendering servers which communicate gameplay data to and from your device using an internet connection. A couple of examples are PlayStation Now, GameFly, and NVIDIA GeForce Now, which...
Have you ever used any of those services?
I used GameFly, but I never used it for that.
Oh.
I mean, they were originally Netflix of gaming, and you could, rent games from them for a monthly fee and keep them as long as you want. That's why I used it.
I don't know if I, as someone who sold computers, would say that I'm starting a gaming subscription service because it doesn't require you to own a high processor, whatever they said, device.
Well, no, they don't. Microsoft owns Xbox. Sony owns the PlayStation. Nintendo owns Nintendo. Apple doesn't own a high-powered gaming system.
But they sell computers.
Screw them for referring to Apple as one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. Simply because they sell games does not make them a gaming company. Walmart is not a gaming company. Sure, they have a video game department. And sure, they sell video games.
I would also be interested to know, okay, what kind of games are we talking about? Are we talking about actual games? Or are we talking about 20,000 people downloaded Candy Crush?
Well, they specifically mentioned iOS games, and that's going to be the Candy Crushes and crap like that.
Yeah, so that's not...
Well, no,
even if you want to say that's a game,
are,
that's a totally different category.
You've got some of those games that are awesome. You've got like some of the Star Trek games and Star Wars games, He-Man, and there's like a little...
all the way up to Final Fantasy IX is available on Android.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that you can play.
I mean, those are PlayStation 1 games.
What they're saying is, like, they want to start competing with the console, basically. They want Apple laptops and Apple phones to be competing with console gaming, to be competing with Xbox, PlayStation, Game Boy. I don't know, what's the Nintendo DS? Because nobody's really making handhelds anymore.
Well, the Switch.
The Switch, okay.
Extremely successful. Probably the most successful console of the last generation.
Switch, they
killed the DS.
Okay, you notice something though, right? They're all Nintendo products. Nobody else is making handhelds.
Yeah. Well, Nintendo has no choice. Nobody would take anything Nintendo did seriously if it wasn't gaming related. Oh, the new Nintendo phone. Can you imagine?
Right.
Nobody would take it seriously. We'd imagine it to look like a...
Xbox doesn't have handheld Xboxes. Sony PlayStations are no longer handheld games. They don't make handheld versions of them.
Yeah, they do. They have the Vita.
Really?
It's an evolution of the PSP.
Is it any good?
I've
never seen it. So, like...
I don't know. I've only played one once, and that was on one of the original PSPs. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so...
I do know that they were capable of playing PlayStation 2 games going all the way back 10 years ago.
Really?
Well, probably not 10 years ago. 8 years ago. So I would imagine a Vita is probably PlayStation 3. We know it's PlayStation 3 quality, actually, because like MLB 2009 had this famous tie-in between the PS3 version and the Vita version, where you could just sort of like the Switch. You could just take it off of the PS3 and play it straight onto your Vita in the middle of a game. So I guess technically it was probably downscaled and, that kind of thing. And I don't even know if they're still making it. The Vita at this point is probably as old as the original DS.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's really making handhelds except for Nintendo. And that's going to be their corner of the market, I guess, from here on out. That's what it looks like.
I just want them to make games for PC. I don't care what else they do.
A good console.
I don't like them holding good games hostage to bad hardware.
I haven't liked a console since the Super Nintendo system.
One of their consoles? The
Yeah.
GameCube was incredible.
I didn't like it.
Really?
I didn't like it.
Oh, it's got like the best controller ever.
I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the GameCube or the N64.
Well, the N64 it had GoldenEye and Ocarina of Time.
GoldenEye was epic. That was the only good thing about it.
Ocarina of Time was good.
I didn't play that. I really didn't. Even as much as I like Zelda, I didn't play that one. I tried to play the one on the Wii.
It would have been better when you were younger.
The one with where you like turn into a wolf or whatever.
Oh yeah, Twilight Princess is
God,
awful.
I hated that one. The game was so terrible.
It really was.
Oh my God. All right, so when we get back here on the Call to Freedom, it'll be time for hour 3. We're going to be talking about what does eating chocolate do for babies? You know, like if you're growing one in your belly. And then we've also got, what was it? I don't know. We'll get into it when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your Liberty Beat for Monday, February 4th, 2019. Gold opened today at $1,312. Silver opened at $15.72. And Bitcoin is trading around $3,412. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, for much of the past 20 years, critics of U.S. foreign policy have noted it is often countries with sizable oil reserves that most often find themselves the targets of U.S.-backed humanitarian interventions aimed at restoring democracy. Analysis of the nearly 2 decades-long U.S. effort aimed at regime change and democracy promotion in Venezuela has long linked such efforts to the fact that the South American country has the world's largest proven oil reserves. Minpress News reports that the current U.S. effort to topple the government led by Nicolas Maduro has become notable for the openness of the coup architects in admitting that putting American corporations, Chevron and Halliburton chief among them, in charge of Venezuelan oil reserves is the driving factor behind the aggressive policy. Last week, Senator Marco Rubio, a key player in the Trump administration's push for regime change, tweeted that the biggest American buyers of Venezuelan oil are Valero Energy and Chevron. Refining heavy crude from Venezuela supports great jobs in the Gulf Coast. For the sake of U.S. workers, I, Rubio, hope that they will begin working with the administration of President Guaido and cut off the illegitimate Maduro regime. In January, the United States government recognized Guaido as the legitimate president of the country. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, fighting for your right to consume plant-based medicine and natural remedies. Find out more at mybraybotanicals.com. And Liberty Beat listeners can currently save 10% off your purchase by using promo code SNLS at checkout. This is the Liberty Beat for Monday, February 4th, 2019. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Voters in Denver, Colorado are set to decide whether to decriminalize possession of small amounts of the hallucinogenic drug psilocybin, which would make it the first city in the United States to hold prosecution of people caught with magic mushrooms. The Independent reports the Colorado City will ask residents to vote on the proposal in May, which does not seek to legalize magic mushrooms, but instead makes them a low priority for law enforcement. Under the proposals, growing would also be decriminalized, although the changes would stop short of allowing the drug to be sold. The investigation into a police officer who tasered a little girl in the back is now a war on cops, according to police. That word comes in a report from the Free Thought Project. The shooting happened last year in Cincinnati when a police officer tasered an 11-year-old girl after he suspected her of stealing food. Since that time, Officer Kevin Brown was disciplined by his department but never fired. Now he is the subject of a criminal FBI investigation that his superiors are calling a politically motivated assault on cops. Cincinnati Fraternal Order of Police President Dan Hills said on Bill Cunningham's talk show on Friday, quote, "The war on police isn't only when people shoot policemen, it's when politicians, and even sometimes politicians with things on their collar within the police department, take part in allowing this kind of assault on our cops," end quote. Not only are Hill's comments incredibly offensive to the family of the victim, but it highlights the disturbing mentality being seen from police departments across the country. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details on how to raise your business's profile in partnership with the Liberty Beat. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting Monday, February 4th, 2019. Reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Scientology minister Frank D. Linehan was arrested this morning on 471 charges of molesting thetans. The popular 56-year-old minister was reportedly taken into custody after an investigation revealed this week that he sexually abused dozens of thetans in the past year, with many of the ancient alien spirits being as young as 65 million years old.
Church members left these thetans alone with someone they trusted, and Mr. Linehan clearly violated that trust.
According to police reports, reports the abuse continued as recently as last week when Linehan forced a 70-million-year-old alien spirit to perform oral sex during a level OT2 solo auditing session. Since the allegations against Linehan surfaced, more and more church members have come forward about Thetan abuse. Despite the church's efforts to recover from the incident, the scandal may alienate a whole generation of Scientologists.
I don't see how they can expect anyone to continue moving up the bridge to total freedom and achieve clear after this.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Into the Call to Freedom's third hour here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Horizon.global studios here, the Liberty Radio studios, rather, here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we're going to be talking about babies for the next little while. Two different stories about babies. First, why my kids are so awesome. Eating chocolate, right? Fellas, is your wife pregnant? If she is, and she says, honey, go get me some chocolate. Go get that woman some chocolate.
If you've ever been in a relationship and a girl says, go get me some chocolate,
go get that woman some chocolate.
That is not negotiable.
It's safe to eat chocolate while you're pregnant. Several studies vouch for the benefits, actually.
How did this even become a thing? I mean, who didn't? Who?
Eating chocolate during pregnancy boosts fetal growth and development, according to a Université Laval, Quebec City in Canada. Regular consumption of dark chocolate in small amounts from your first trimester could improve placental function.
I mean, realistically, the same is probably true of small amounts of cocaine.
Dr. Emmanuel Bujold, professor of obstetrics and gynecology at the Université Laval in Quebec City, says our observations suggest that regular small amount consumptions of dark chocolate, whether or not the level of flavanol is high from the first trimester of pregnancy, could lead to an improvement in placental function. Experts advise that moderation in consumption of chocolate, the flavanol found in cocoa, which is a major component of chocolate, is beneficial for pregnant women. The darker the chocolate, the more flavanol that it possesses. Here are a few benefits of eating chocolate. Dark chocolate relieves preeclampsia, one of the causes of premature labor and characterized by high blood pressure and protein levels in your urine during pregnancy. Researchers at Yale University found chocolate intake lowered the risk of preeclampsia by 70%. It therefore concluded that dark chocolate, about 5 servings a week, is effective in preventing preeclampsia, especially in the third trimester. It regulates the blood pressure. Theobromine, present in cocoa, helps regulating blood pressure in pregnant women by dilating blood vessels. It contains antioxidants, prevents heart disease, relieves stress. The dark chocolate is found to enhance mood by raising endorphins and serotonin levels in the brain. This is why I always bought it for my wife when she was pregnant. Findings from a research study published in Proteome Research says that eating 1.4 ounces of dark chocolate every day for 2 weeks lowers the level of cortisol hormone in the bloodstream. The flavanol reduces fatigue and reflects on the degree of stress. Research also finds, according to the New Scientist magazine, pregnant women who had more dark chocolate gave birth to happier, livelier babies. Now this, I have seen with my own eyes. We have 5 kids. They've all passed the name Mr. Smiley or Mrs. Baby Smiley from one to the other. And I have fed my wife as much chocolate as I could fit down her throat every day for the entire 9 months because she is a very unhappy, very unpleasant person to be around when she's pregnant. So chocolate makes it less so. So, but then we ended up with babies that were just like the happiest. They sleep through the night. It was very nice. Researchers randomly picked a few mothers who had 6-month-old babies and asked them how frequently they had chocolate during their pregnancy. They were told the rate of their baby's happiness. Mothers who frequently had chocolate in their pregnancy gave higher happiness scores to their babies than mothers who did not have chocolate regularly. However, the exact reason is still not known. It may be chocolate passing through the placenta into the breast milk, or mother's enhanced happiness from chocolate that makes the baby happy. Another interesting...
Or the mothers are happy, so they interpret their 5-month-old to be happy. I mean, how do you tell whether or not a 5-month-old is generally happy?
Yeah, there's...
Have you ever had an unhappy baby?
I've never had any baby.
You can tell if a baby will let you know if it's happy or not.
I avoid babies whenever possible.
When you have babies that basically don't cry, those are happy babies. And we had babies that basically didn't cry. I could hand the baby to Melanie and they would just be happy that another human being was interacting with them. Whereas a lot of people, they have babies that if you hand them to Melanie and Melanie's not a member of the like 3 people that are allowed to hold the baby, they freak the hell out. And none of my kids were ever like that. They were all very good-natured. They weren't colicky at all, except for Miriam, and that was because she had a hernia. She had a distended hernia when she was first born. It was very uncomfortable for her. So, but that was it. You know, she had a, what do you call it? The thing, an umbilical hernia. There we go. She had an umbilical hernia. And it was unpleasant for her for the first few months that she was alive. So she was unpleasant because of that. But all the babies were very, very, like they slept through the night. They didn't give us a lot of, they just weren't colicky like that.
Hey, if you really want to sleep through the night, do what I do. Don't have kids.
Right. Says another interesting finding from the study was that it protected babies from maternal stress. Mothers who never ate chocolate showed high stress levels during pregnancy and had babies who were fearful. Mothers who ate chocolate showed less stress levels and their babies were less fearful.
Yeah, so this is really just musings on the effects of cortisol. Because we already know that cortisol is bad in utero.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably bad at all, but it's the same doses of
what
things.
What is cortisol?